everyone, and you're welcome to Leadership Legacy Podcast. This is another beautiful episode. I'm sure you are going to be wowed again this week. My name is Buki, and my co-host is here.
Hi everyone, my name is Ify, and you're welcome to another episode. Our guest today is someone very special to me. We have been friends, associates for a very long time. Her name is Mrs. Nkechi Onyenso, and she's the MD CEO of Pathfinders International Limited, a private aviation company spread across West Africa. She's a trailblazer in many institutions. She brings that sense of excellence, courage, and humility to her roles. We're very fortunate to have her here today, and we'll be talking a lot about leadership and her legacy in the institutions where she has worked. Starting the conversation about transformational leadership, transforming organizations. You have been known for running several institutions. What's your internal mindset, and how have you shifted these leadership lessons across these organizations? How do we transform institutions from where we meet them to where we want them to be?
Thank you very much, Ify, and nice to meet you, Buki. It's absolutely a pleasure. To give context, we've been friends for over a decade. You didn't say how long. You didn't say how long we've been friends. So that should amount to something. And thank you so much for the very kind words. I think transformation leadership, it starts with a person. You have to be a person that knows who she is, what she wants, and where she's going before you can influence anybody else to be anything. Because people, they say they see what you do before they hear what you do. So you'll have to change your mindset. It comes down to how you talk to yourselves. You talk to yourself every day. What kind of person you are making yourself to be. I know I hear people say, oh, I'm set in my ways. This is how I was born. I don't know if I quite agree with that. I think that the mind is a fertile ground that you can keep on growing and cultivating to become the person you want to be. So to be a transformative leader, you first of all have to transform your thought process. You have to transform the way you see things. You have to see yourself as a solution bringer. I remember one of my early days when I have my board meetings, and my directors or my managers are with me, and they sit down and they are highlighting, all the challenges, all the problems. I said it to them with all, will I say, humility. I said, my 10-year-old can tell me the problems. You're paid to tell me the solutions. So look past, these are the issues. And, be creative. How do we make progress? How do we transform them? How do we change the narrative? It's possible if we have to open up our minds. They used to say, think outside the box. Now they say, destroy the box. And just go forward, I strongly believe if you can dream it, you can do it. Absolutely.
Great. So the mindset, you have this can-do mindset, right? That it's possible. Okay, so with your experience, now we want to talk about governance a bit, right? So with your experience, sticking to principles can sometimes slow down progress, right? Yeah, so how do you discern when to bend and when to stand firm? Because we have leaders, they are the ones that are faced with this constantly within their organizations in trying to run it. They realize that, at times being firm might, slow some things down. So how do you balance that in running an organization?
Thank you very much, Buki. I think what you're saying is a very good point, because I think you're talking about being flexible, not being cast in the stone and not being too rigid, because sometimes things happen and you have to take decisions that are, not what you would have normally taken. How I would look at that is, as an individual, you should have what I call your core principles. These are the very principles that nothing can change. These are the very principles that nothing can make you shift ground. And these things are things down to things like honesty, down to things like humility, down to things like justice, down to things like fairness. I don't know, it could be anything that are your core principles. So as far as you are not shifting your core principles, you can be flexible to accommodate things. Things can change. I do understand that, but you should not change who you are because of the circumstance. If you do not stand for something, you will fall for anything. So whatever you stand for, let everybody know that is it. I'll tell you a story. When I was growing up in my career, I'm a very bad person, and if you would know, to gossip to. Oh, I'm a horrible person to gossip to. Because as you're gossiping to me, I am calling Effiong. Is it true that you did, And because everybody knew me to be like that, they knew that if it's gossip, don't go to Nkechi. She's not a fertile ground for gossip. Do you understand? And guess what? They stopped bringing it to me. So when people come to know you for something, it will reduce your headache. They will know that, oh, come what may, Buki is not going to shift ground on this. She will ensure that people are accommodated as much as possible, but those her core principles are not going to shift because of the circumstance. It may be difficult. It even may be lonely at first. But believe me, when people have come to know that is who you are, when they are coming with these scenarios that could have possibly got you to shift grounds, they would come with the possibilities. Okay, this is how you can go about it, because we know Buki, she's not going to change what she stands for. Do you understand? So that's how I have dealt with it.
Wow, great. Thank you.
Great lessons in leadership. Being the solution provider is what gets you elevated, what gets you noticed, and what keeps getting you invited into, be it the boardroom or be it into committees for service. My next question is about women's leadership and the balance of power. As a leader myself, I see it everywhere I lead. When you are speaking, they feel that you are more assertive, aggressive versus the male counterparts. So what would you say would be a balance to that, and what tough truths about leadership do you wish more women knew, accept early enough, and overcome so that we have more of a gender representation on the boardrooms and across the sphere?
Thank you. I remember when we were both in the board of the institute, and you were one person I always admired, and I'll tell you why. You stood your ground and you said your truth, and everybody else should go and deal with it. I think that's just basically what I would say. Over time, I have worked and interacted with various female leaders. Some feel the need to, be
Parry.
Yeah. Some feel the need to shout, because they want to be heard. However, I would advise, and it takes practice. Believe me, it does take practice. First and foremost, know your onions.
I agree.
People feel that all a woman should be is a pretty face.
We are pretty faces, but we also have with the knowledge and the intelligence to make the role work.
I was going to say it is essential.
Yes.
Yes, it is. You have to, because people, they say dress the way you want to be addressed. So if you want to be allowed into the room or to speak into the room, you have to look presentable in some kind of ramification. But then beyond all that, know your onions. Know the subject matter. Know the thing that you stand for. That if you're interrogated left, right, and center, you are bringing out quality information, facts, and figures that cannot be questioned. When people know that, okay, this lady knows what she is saying, it does two things. First of all, it gives you confidence. Because people will tend to, oh, she's just a woman. You would recall,
yes.
I remember my first CEO position. When the board was deliberating on it, one of the board members had said to the board, "Oh, she's the nursing mother. She can't come on as CEO." Oh yes. She can. You're aware of it. Yeah, she can't come on as CEO. She's a nursing mother. But because I had worked there for a few months, and I had done, made an impact. Yes. Everybody was quick to say, it doesn't matter. She's a nursing mother. She's doing the work well. So you have to know what you're saying. And then it helps to build your confidence. Then number two, when you've built your confidence, you do not even need to shout. in a very cool and calm voice, you will communicate and you will be heard. It doesn't happen immediately, especially if you're new to the board or to the system. But with time, when they know that consistently what you say has turned out to be true and has impacted positively on the organization, you will be a sought after voice. So much so that a decision won't be taken until Buki has spoken.
Yeah.
The decision won't be taken until, have you asked Ify what she thinks? And that's what Ify actually did when she was on the board at the time. Yes. So it grows with time. It grows with experience. And it will help with a lot of knowledge to back it up as a foundation.
Can I clap at this? I mean,
Yes, we need to clap.
I'm sure the audience is already clapping.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sure they are. That was powerful. That was a nice one. Yes. Okay, so now that we are moving into mentoring, grooming the younger generations. And, countless of them, many of them, they are professionals and they are, aspiring. What are the traits that you look out for in a mentee, right? To distinguish those that just aspire for leadership, or the ones that, they are the core leaders that you really want to groom? Is there a difference? Do you notice some things in the different types of mentees that you've come across in your journey?
Yeah, thank you, Buki. So there are basically two things for me that I look out for. And the first is integrity. That is the foundation for everything for me. The second is hunger. Now, if I meet mentees that have integrity without hunger, I can work on them to get them to see the bigger picture, to see what they can do, the difference they can make. But if I meet a mentee that has hunger and not integrity, I walk away because there's nothing to be done there. There's nothing to be done there. So when you have a combination of integrity and hunger, and that hunger, is not for food.
Yes, sure.
You have somebody that has the ability to be anything. I remember in one of my numerous lives, I was recruiting, and this young lady came into my office. I saw a lot of young ladies, and it was really sad for me. That day was really sad, because if I saw 20 young ladies, and I'm not exaggerating, 17 were naked. When I say naked, I mean naked. And when they came into the room and they saw me, immediately they felt conscious.
Yes.
Because in their head, they felt it was a man that was coming to do the interview. So without saying a word to them, you find them trying to, and I was like, why? You were fine. You came on the road. So what's the difference? So I could see that, and if their confidence would drop, everything would drop because they feel it's going to go wrong. And one of these ladies came into the room, she obviously felt she wasn't supposed to be there. I don't know why. And then when I was asking her, she just said, her first sentence to me, believe it or not, if you was like, I know I won't get this job. And I was like, okay.
Wow.
So why? And then she goes on and on how you need a godfather, everything is godfatherism, but that she told her she wasn't going to come for the interview, but they just told her, just come, it won't take anything from you. And I heard her talk, and she was a pretty girl. And if she was the kind of lady that wanted to climb the ladder using her face, she would have. She could. So I could see she had a level. She was a single young lady, so she had a level of integrity that has said, look, no matter how slow it takes me, I'm not going to cut corners to get there. So I knew I just had to work on the hunger. And now she is the deputy manager of the organization. She's not a big girl.
Wow.
She's not
That is a great success story.
So once there's integrity, hunger comes on, we can work on the hunger, you can be anything you want to be.
Wow.
Anything.
Wow. Awesome.
That's a great story about mentorship. And I'm sure that looking back at her journey, you have moments of pride that I was part of this woman's success story.
Yeah.
And that's what leadership legacy is about.
Yes.
Inspiring young women to to look inwards and the talents and the gifts that they have, to aspire without looking for a godfather figure to support their growth. So thank you for being such a role model. And I think we'll end on just final notes, looking ahead into the future. The continent needs people like you. Our nation needs people like you. Our corporate sector needs people like you. And as we redefine and refine what leadership means, what would you describe as a new model of excellence for leadership going forward? How do we aspire to be that model of excellence and influence our world in the next decade?
That's pretty deep. Model of excellence. I'm not in a hurry to say this is the only way. I'm not in a hurry to, because honestly, things are happening every day and things are changing. However, like I said initially, the first thing is yourself. You need to work on yourself. You need to improve your level of thinking. You need to improve your association. You know, we're discussing before we started.
Yes.
I met a brilliant lady, and the business has evolved. You know,
We just
Yes.
you just
That's
network
what-
us.
So you need to work on your social skills.
Yeah.
I read a book and it says that your hard skills, your qualifications, gets you the job. Your soft skills keeps you in the job. So you need to work on your soft skills after you've established your basic qualifications. You need to talk to yourself. Don't get me wrong. It's not a bed of roses, and if you know that. It's a jungle. But if you're consistent and you're resolved to be that person you have seen, you will get there. So regardless of all the hit downs, you know, you can push me down, but guess what? I'm getting right
Bounce
up.
back up.
I am coming.
Getting right up.
In fact, I was talking to my son. He had some challenges recently, and we were going through them. And when we finished, you know, it wasn't as if all was clear. He said to me, "So, mommy, you know what?" I said, "What?" He said, "We move." I was so impressed. I was so impressed. So you don't wait for the clouds to be clear. You move. You keep moving. Eventually, the clouds will clear.
Yeah.
So be consistent with who you are. Grow your base, your social skills, your soft skills, and know your onions. These three things combined with other things that other people may have, you know, experienced in their own career, I think it's a good model for excellence.
What
Great.
a wonderful way to end this. Those nuggets are just like hitting me left, right, and center.
But she still has to give us this direct one. Now, I know that you run an aviation company, right? So what will you say to MSMEs out there, women especially, trying to ensure they achieve so much with their businesses? Just encourage them, encourage their hearts.
What I would say is this. Every organization I have worked, I make a difference. I try my best to make a difference. I tell my colleagues, I said, if you work in an organization and you walk away and they don't feel it, you didn't do well. So I work in such a way that when I go, you look for me. What does that take? It takes creativity. It takes innovation. It takes hard work. It takes being a problem solver. Everybody has their routine. Mine, I spend minimum of 20 minutes a day. I call it my morning walk with God. And in that 20 minutes, I shall tell him everything. These are the challenges, these are the this. And believe me, Buki, somehow, when I get into the office that day, something will just pop in my head. And I'll tell my team, try it. And it will work. That's my own secret. You need to build yours. That's why everywhere I've worked, and go and check my history, I'm still doing something or the other for them till today. Because you have to leave a mark in the sands of time. Make sure you do. Don't just work in an organization. Leave your imprint in that organization. That's my own nuggets.
Wow.
Please, can you call my staff to come in for this particular segment?
You're so kind.
This has been awesome. Fantastic
Thank you.
one.
Thank you so much.
No,
Thank
no,
you
no,
so
no.
much. So maybe off camera, you now tell me what
Yeah.
that is.
The dynamic relationship.
So thank you so much for your time. It's
Thank
been
you.
fantastic
Thank you for having me.
speaking with you. And you know, the nuggets, the wisdom that you have shared, and especially this last one that you gave out. So everyone watching, I'm sure you've taken something away again this episode. Make sure you don't miss the next episode. Thank you, and do have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.